There are 4 factions to fight us in Blade Sorcery. Well, it's actually more like 3, considering the one I'm talking about today is just slaughtered by us. Quick note before I start, I have a Discord. If you want to talk about Blade Sorcery or anything really, come join. Also, I'm kind of sick, so if my voice sounds off, that's what it is. Thank you. Enjoy the video. The Wildfolk are by far the most interesting faction in Blade Sorcery, and my personal favorite. But before I explain why, let's get some basic information out of the way. The Wildfolk use tier 1 and 2 weapons and armor. They do also use sorcery quite a lot, and it's looked at very differently from other factions. The Wildfolk look at it as a blessing, but unlike the Eye, who also see it as a blessing, they understand how powerful it is, and that it should only be used in small quantities. Also like the Eye, they want to restore sorcery to its former glory, where it can be used in everyday life, but also, unlike the Eye, who want to use it for war, the Wildfolk want to use it for things like agriculture and architecture. And the reason I said they are my favorite faction is because the Wildfolk aren't actually bad like the other factions. Them wanting to kill us stems from a misunderstanding, most likely. So, during your second Wildfolk dungeon, you can find a note that details how some mad sorcerer slaughtered an entire one of their outposts. Furthermore, we can find a note on if they think we are the Kamenet. They see the Kamenet as a savior, as someone good, but because of how brutal we are, they came to the conclusion that we couldn't be them. This means that they probably didn't mean any harm to us. They're at war with a Raiden and are constantly taking and losing outposts, so they probably just assumed we were one of them. Another example of them being caring can be found in the Dalgarian Preservation Society note. A woman gets trapped and lost in a Dalgarian ruin and is there for hours. With falling rubble and unstable structures, she thinks she may die there, when out of nowhere she hears talking and encounters a Wildfolk group. Instead of hurting her, even though they know she's working for a Raiden, they heal her wounds with some type of sorcery. This healing sorcery might be another pointer to the fact that there are more than just 5 types of sorcery. The Wildfolk are more human than any other faction. Fighting them actually makes me feel kinda bad, considering they just think we're some psycho murderer. The Wildfolk are pretty organized compared to, like, the Outlaws. They aren't all under one king like a Raiden, but they are split up into a bunch of different clans. All of these clans communicate and have the exact same values, though. Just a few examples are the Forest Clan, the River Clan, and the Mountain Clan. The Eye and these clans seem to have a lot of beef, as we can read of meetings between the two factions in hope of an alliance, but when the Wildfolk realize that they believe in superiority instead of equality, things quickly turn sour. It seems the Eye won the fight between them purely because of their skill with sorcery. Also, a little fun fact is that the thing in the home that we use to unlock skills is actually a Wildfolk worship shrine, built right on top of something Dalgarian. Anyways, thanks for watching. I've been slowly remaking my first Blade Sorcery lore video by giving each faction their own section, so expect to see an outlaw video sometime in the future. The Wildfolk really are my favorite faction, so I enjoyed making this video. I have a Discord, it's linked at the top of the description. If you want to talk about anything really, come join. And again, thanks for watching.